the guy that's standing on top of the Waymo waving the Mexican flag, if you zoom into his nails, he has black nails. Name a Mexican man that paints his nails black, bro. Oh, wait.
True.
Everybody blames Trump. Okay, what about blaming Mexico for the corruption? What about blaming Mexico for the fact that we don't give a shit about our people in Mexico? That's the reason why we even try to come over here. I wasn't allowed to come into this country. I had to sneak in to this country twice. My paperwork process started in 96. I didn't become a citizen of the United States of America until 2012. So I know the struggle. We're not the guys that get on top of the Waymos and destroy. We're not the people, bro, that throw bricks at police officers. We love our families. We work hard for our families, right? We're culturally driven people like no other culture. We have the best culture. We have the best food. We have the best women. I'm just talking.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
I seen you pull up. And I seen a pallet of bricks. Mm-hmm. So you came from Arizona to go riot? What's going on, bro?
You didn't see my Antifa flag in the back seat?
Shit.
And my, what are those, my bionic masks?
Just that they were handing out magically?
Tear gas me?
Shit. Who was handing those out?
So this guy belonged to a radical group. His name was Alejandro Orellana. He belongs to a radical group here. I think they're called the Brown Berets.
Oh,
yeah, it's like like a whole thing. Like there's some radical groups,
but they are getting money from the Democratic Party.
They have to be. I don't see. I don't see how a Republican Party would fund them. You know, okay. If you take a look at some of these like radical, groups around the country, like the Antifas and other groups like that. They're funded by the deep blue state is what they call it. And I'll give you an example, right? I am here for the riots, by the way. I've always wanted to riot. Are you going to
take this guy with you?
Let's roll, bro. Let's stop at a dispensary and then we go to the riot, right? So I always wanted to be part of a riot. And okay, I'm just playing. I'm just joking. So there was something that went down. There was some apprehensions that went down in Minnesota on June 3rd. Okay. And, there was some Antifa there. It's like they know, bro. These people know where it's going to go down. The Antifas and the Brown Beret, all the radical groups, they know.
As if it was
They know where
planned.
the raids are going to happen.
It's a crime organization. That's what's
There you go, right? Some people say it's a criminal organization. I mean, if you think about it, it kind of is because they cause chaos and destruction. They cause violence. That's what these groups do, right? So watch this. June 3rd, Minnesota, look it up, right? They're up there, there's a couple of apprehensions go down. It wasn't even a lot. I don't think it was, I'll look it up right now. He'll look it up. How many apprehensions on June 3rd in Minnesota, right? And then Antifa was already ready. They were ready to roll. There was more Antifa people on the street than there was civilians.
So they got the memo.
They got the memo in far in advance, right? Or they saw the Craigslist ad. We'll get into that later. Did you see the Craigslist ad?
Yeah.
Right? These people, whoever's funding these groups, are paying a significant amount of money. You're talking like $6,000 to $12,000 a week is what the ad said, right? But anyway, so Minnesota, June 3rd, a couple of apprehensions go down. You know how many it was?
How many?
He's going to look it up. Apprehensions, June 3rd raid, Minnesota. So, it goes down. The apprehensions take place. The Antifa folks come out and they start throwing trash in front of the police vehicles. They start throwing bricks. I mean, it starts to go down. But there wasn't enough of a spark for it to last very long. It lasted literally probably less than an hour. Okay. Now, fast forward to June 6th, right? LA. Here they are again. They're ready to roll. I can show you pictures, videos of these radical antagonists that are there before anything goes down. And then once it goes down, they're the first to throw the brick and hide the hand. They're the first to set something on fire. Bro, the guy that's standing on top of the Waymo wearing waving the Mexican flag, if you zoom into his nails, he has black nails. Name a Mexican man that paints his nails black, bro. Oh, wait.
True.
Is that true?
No,
So right,
that's
what
factual.
I'm like. He's painting. His nails are black. We Mexican men, first of all, we don't paint our nails, right? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Over 600.
600 people in Minnesota.
Yeah, over 600
So 600 people in Minnesota.
were arrested.
Nothing. There's no fires or Waymos, being lit. 118 people here in Cali, June 6th and 7th, June 6th and 7th, and then the whole place was set on fire. You know what I mean? So again, here's the difference between the people in Minnesota and the people in LA. Apparently, only 2 people in Minnesota got arrested, and that's what I'm saying. They were trying to set it off. Like these radical antagonists were trying to set it off. Right? Here's the difference. Here in LA, right? It's like these folks, they target black people and brown people because we are very emotional human beings, and we feel like a lot of minorities, right? We organically feel like we're discriminated upon. We organically, naturally feel that way, right? That's the way we are kind of brought up and programmed. You know what I mean? So all we needed was a spark, and we took the bait. We had these antagonist folks out here, these radical groups. They set it off, and then they did it consistently for enough time, or a good amount of time, maybe an hour or 2, and then here comes the Chicano from Downey, California, and then here comes the Chicana from Bell Gardens, and then now then the Chicana brings the abuelita and the tia, and what I'm saying, but they're legal because guess what? There's no illegal immigrants rioting.
None.
Zero.
Where are they at, bro?
In the house.
Or working.
Or working. Some of them might even be like, pendejos, ¿qué están haciendo? You know what I mean? Like,
I just seen a video like that.
Yeah.
I think you sent it to me when the dad was talking shit to the son. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Those protests.
Like, no, I don't need you to do that.
No.
You're making me look bad. You're gonna actually influence them, right? To kick me out. Like they're gonna come harder now.
It's like they took the bait.
We, not they. We.
You're right.
We took the bait because we are Mexican Americans.
And we, me, myself specifically, I took the bait temporarily. Like,
You said for 10 minutes?
Yeah, for 10 minutes. I was like, motherfuckers, I was pissed.
You were pissed at who?
I was pissed at what was happening, right? But it's like, it triggered the emotions as per their plan. And it did. And I was just like upset at what was happening. And of course, you have to be compassionate
For sure.
about what's happening.
For
right?
sure.
So that element for me, I was just like, damn, what the fuck is going on? I was just confused on everything as a whole. And I'm like, all right, back up. I allow myself to be a little bit upset, but it's like, all right, back up, see things for what they are, and now start asking the right questions. So
at the end of the day, brother, this is the way I see it, right? Number one, I'm a huge data analyst. I study the data. I study the data. So I'll hear one thing, oh my God, the raids are getting out of control. And then I'll be like, well, are they getting out of control? Let me go check. See what I'm saying? And I don't go to Fox News. I don't want everybody, brother, are we friends on Facebook? You should see the comments that people leave on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, right? It gets out of control, bro. And they're like, oh, you got to stop watching Fox News. I'm like, who has cable television these days? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't watch Fox News. I go directly to the ICE website and I take a look at those numbers. Or I'll just go to AI, Chat GPT, right? And then I'll just, what does Chat GPT do, right? It consolidates every single source out there and gives you the information. And then you get it from there. Like we just looked up that, during the raids, it was actually 162 people were apprehended, right? Now, what were we talking about earlier? Biden broke it. He broke the system.
Yes, he did.
He broke the system. How did he break the system? Well, and when I say allow, because I wasn't allowed to come into this country. I had to sneak in to this country twice.
So for the record,
Yeah.
You are not Mexican American.
I'm a Mexican.
You are a Mexican that came in
Illegally.
So
Twice.
then you have the right to speak on certain issues
Yep.
because you lived it.
That's right. I lived it. Yep.
This was not planned.
Yeah. God is good.
God is good.
Yep.
And to me, I wanted to touch on certain issues, but I was waiting for the right time.
I'm the perfect candidate for this subject, which is what you've been wanting to talk about.
Yes. And just for the viewers, this was not planned.
No,
This
it was not planned. This
Hey,
was-
brother, by the way, last night,
I'm in town.
What's up?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is the perfect person to touch on these issues.
Bro, I came in illegally the first time through San Isidro. We went to Escondido, didn't last very long. You know, my mom, single mom, we just financially didn't make it. Went back to Guaymas, Sonora, and then we recouped. You know, I started bagging groceries. Have you ever seen the picture I put up when I'm 10 years old and I'm bagging groceries? Yeah. Huh?
Un cerillo, no? That's what they call them, the people that bag groceries.
Is it? I don't know what they call us. You know, back then they used to just call us empacador voluntario.
But that's over there.
Yeah. So, and I'll show you the picture here shortly, but I got my ID of me being a grocery bagger at 10 years old in Mexico at La Ley. You ever heard of La Ley?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big old retail
Yeah.
chain, right? The Chinese own it. The Chinese own Mexico, by the way. The Chinese own Mexico.
Damn.
Yeah, the Chinese own Mexico.
Should we take a dive on that too?
The Chinese and the cartels own Mexico. Anyway, that's a whole subject for a whole different day, right?
I was about to bring up the president, but all right.
Who, Scheinbaum?
Yeah, but all right.
Scheinbaum?
Let's finish what you were going to say.
So check it out.
We have 10 hours in here? Okay, cool.
So we come in, you know, we didn't make it. We go back, and bro, it took a lot of sacrifice because, you know, the first time that my mom came over to California, right? So watch this. My mom initially came over with the passport, and then she was working the fields in Fresno. Okay, she was picking strawberries. Okay, picking strawberries because strawberries are on the ground, right?
Yep.
And during that time frame of 86 and 88, 1986 and 1988, right? Reagan was in power. He was the president, and they did an amnesty program for the migrant workers that were out in the fields. My mom was out in the fields, right? So then she had to go to the nearest immigration office at that time. It might have been San Diego. I got to remember what it was. And then even when she went, right, she just made it. She went to San Diego and say, hey, I work the fields. I've been working the fields because at that you have to have been working the fields for a good amount, a couple years to qualify to get that amnesty, right? So then the immigration officer, bro, was a Mexican dude, right? You know how they always say like the enemy, the what is it? The biggest enemy of a Latino is another Latino,
yeah,
right? Well, watch. She was telling me this story the other day. She goes and she's like, "Hey, I work the fields. I'm here to get my paperwork, right?" And the Latino goes, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" She's like, "I pick strawberries." Like, okay, well, let me ask you a question. How big of a ladder do you have to pick strawberries? And then she goes, "Huh?" He goes, "Yeah. How many steps do you have to take in order to pick the strawberries?" The immigration Latino, the immigrant officer, the Latino officer from immigration was asking her these things, and my mom goes, "I'm confused. Why are you asking me that?" She goes, "You don't need a ladder to pick strawberries. They're on the floor." And he was like, "Oh, I was just testing you. Okay, you're good." See,
what?
Yeah. And then boom, she got her paperwork, right? And then, you know, she goes back to Mexico, and it takes her, bro, like it takes her a couple years, bro, like to get situated here in Escondido, California. And then she brings us over. You know, she brings us over through a sewer canal in San Isidro, the border of Tijuana and California.
And you were how old?
I was entering the second grade, so whatever the age that is.
In a
Right?
sewer
Yeah,
canal?
sewer canal to get through, right? So watch this. We try, we fail. The immigration officer had enough empathy to tell my mom, because imagine you being a single woman going through a sewer canal, carrying one son and dragging me, because I'm old enough to walk, right, with the other, you know, and then the immigration officer had enough empathy to be like, hey, just go back. Like, just go back. So we go back and we wait like another 48 hours and we try again. And this time we make it. And we get to Escondido, and we don't last there very long because my mom just couldn't make it. It was too expensive. We go back to Mexico. Leaves us in Mexico again, goes to Phoenix where it's more affordable. Mm-hmm. A year and a half goes by. She leaves my brother down there, brings me up. I'm the oldest, brings me, pays a coyote $25 in Nogales, Sonora to get me through a hole in the fence. And so I can meet her at the McDonald's in Nogales, Arizona, and then we can work our way up to Phoenix. Like, that's how I got into this country on 2 different occasions. Now, my mom started my paperwork process as soon as I got in, like 96. I was entering the 7th grade. She started my paperwork process. It took me years to get my work permit. Got my work permit first, and then it took me, I think, about 2 years to get my residency. And then it took me like another 5 years to get my citizenship. So my paperwork process started in 96. I didn't become a citizen of the United States of America until 2012. So I know the struggle. I know the struggle. I know the pain. I know the fear, the constant fear that we live in, because I live in constant fear. Oh man, they're going to get me. I can't drive a car. What if they pull me over? You know what I mean? Like, I can't stay out too late. What if they pull me over? I can't like get into trouble. You know, what if they get me? I'm illegal. You see what I'm saying? So I know what it's like to live with that fear for many, many, many. It's a fear that you feel right here. You're just afraid all the time. You're afraid when you go to work. You're afraid when you drive. You're afraid when you're out at the grocery store because you just don't know. You're constantly looking over your shoulder like you owe somebody your life every day. So that's what it feels like to be an immigrant. You truly gotta live in the shadows. I lived in the shadows in fear for a very long time. So no one out there that is, especially the first generation Mexican Americans out there right now that are, you know, they're the ones throwing the bricks and causing with the other radical groups or whatever. They can't tell me about the struggle, bro. I have lived it. I'm born in Mexico. I am an immigrant. I went through the process. You know what I mean? It's a tough gig, bro. It's tough. But this is what I'll tell every single Mexican out there that's listening that maybe needs to get their paperwork. It takes too long. It takes 10 years. Well, you're going to be here anyway, right? You see what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
Like, you're going to be here anyway, right? So you might as well start the process.
What's the first step? I don't think some of these people know.
There are so many resources out there. There's like, you can go to Chicanos por la Causa. You can go to an immigration lawyer. There are immigration processing offices that are third party, right? And you can at least start the application process. Just start it. And then that's step 1. And then step 2, they'll send you something back. They'll send you a notification. They'll give you the next steps. Yes, it's an extensive process, but this is the problem with our people, right? We don't do it. We don't do it. Now, I will say, I do not agree with what's going on right now as far as like, you know, supposedly, and I can't prove this, that there's ICE officers waiting at these immigration offices and they're snatching them at the offices when an immigrant has an appointment. I don't agree with that. I'm hoping that is happening because maybe that specific person has there's a deportation or a removal order, you know, or there's a criminal, you know, they committed some kind of crime and maybe that's why they're waiting there. But randomly snatching people for no reason, I will never agree with that. That is inhumane.
All right. That right there is what I've been struggling with all week. Okay?
Talk to me, bro.
To me, I'm just like, and I think that's what I've been like.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? You can't just pull up on somebody and be like, this guy looks Mexican. Llévenselo. That's a problem for me, brother. And I think that's what I've been struggling with. And everybody on social media is like, all these influencers and these podcasters and these TikTokers, you need to stand up and you need to shut up, man.
It's racial profiling, right?
You know?
It was, some people would consider racial profiling. Yeah.
And it's like, speak on that subject. Anyhow, we're speaking on it now. But I'm saying, do you live in Southern California and are you looking to buy, sell, or refinance one of your properties? What better agent to represent you than the host of True Hustle Podcast? Go ahead, give us a call or send us a text at 323-352-7946. Now let's get back to the episode, baby. That's a direct violation of the Constitution, right?
Yeah, so
because you're racial profiling somebody.
Well,
right?
This is the thing, right? So I looked into it, and yes, so the Constitution doesn't state that every citizen is has to go through due process. No, it says every human being, right? Every person. Mm-hmm. So that's what I love about the Constitution. I love the Constitution. I really do. These folks, I don't know if aliens came down and gave them the information, right? Like, because they were like way futuristic. Because think about it, right? A lot of those laws are still relevant today. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So it's so amazing how the due process is not just for citizens. It's for human beings, for people. So you're right. If you're gonna go snatch somebody, you got to put them through due process, because that is what is legally. That's what you're legally should do.
So the majority of the people are being detained, mm-hmm. not actually being deported.
Mm-hmm. And then they go through due process, maybe.
And they go through due process, mm-hmm. because you can't just snatch you up and be like, hey, pa Mexico te vas.
Yeah.
So it's
put you on the next thing burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is an actual due process.
Yes.
That is going on.
Yes. Okay. There's a lot, by the way, that you just mentioned right now. And here's what I don't understand. So let's talk about racial profiling. Mm-hmm. Okay, like you said, because the propaganda machine, whether it's social media or legacy media, which is like mainstream media, mm-hmm. right? Like CNN and Fox and all these, they're like, oh, they're racially profiling. No, they're not. Bro, you know how many Mexican American, I haven't seen a white person since I got to California. So if you're going to racially profile, you see what I'm saying? Like it's impossible. I have not. When we went to get the coffee, then I say, hey, you're the first white person I see in Downey. Yes or no?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'm from Sinaloa. I'm like, what? Right?
So you ain't going to find in the 5 miles that way, 5 miles that way.
All Mexicans.
5 miles this way, in every direction. Nothing but
So let me ask you something logically.
Okay.
If ICE wanted to really raid, like really put down some raids like they did in El Salvador when they were raiding the Mara Salvatrucha, remember? Mm-hmm. They were breaching. Boom. Hey, like anybody that belonged to the gang, you're out. Like you're locked up.
Bukele wasn't playing, huh?
No, he was. That is raiding. That right there. If ICE, this is what people don't understand. If ICE wanted to commit raids, don't you think Downey would be a good place to start? I think they would start
with Huntington Park.
Okay. And what does that mile radius look like?
It's probably like what, 2?
I don't know how big.
2 to 3 mile
but doesn't
radius?
that make sense though? Doesn't that make sense logically? Like if ICE wanted to raid, wouldn't they start in some of the Mexican neighborhoods?
That makes sense because they know where we're at.
Hey, it's like the guy that got snatched up right here at Tacos El Gavilan.
Uh-huh.
Right? They're telling me
but why did he get snatched?
Like, they just took the guy and they left the tacos on top of his car and this and that. And it's like, how can that be random? Like you said, like.
No, it's targeted. I believe. So here, brother,
okay.
This is getting juicy, bro. This is getting juicy.
I'm telling you, it's going to get really good.
Yeah, it's getting juicy, bro.
I believe that it is targeted.
Yeah.
And we have people there at the wrong place at the wrong time sometimes. And they might snatch up 1 or 2.
You're right. Because that even happened with Bukele.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that even happened with Bukele, yeah.
I came for JT.
Yeah.
But bro, you're with them.
Yo, what's up with you? You got some paperwork?
Yeah, también tú, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
What you think?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like collateral damage.
Yes.
Right? Collateral damage. Like, hey, bro, you just happen to be there. It is going to happen.
And it's going to happen, but you made a great point earlier. How many people under the Biden administration were coming in? Because it's not you came to this country.
And the hard way. The hard way.
It wasn't an open fucking door.
Nope.
Here's a visa or here's a MasterCard. You're going to stay in this hotel. Vaya con Dios, compadre. Boom. You came in. My parents came in. Then vamos a meter por allá.
Yeah. Le tenemos que pagar el pollero, right?
All that.
We can lose our lives.
How many people came in?
So it is statistically confirmed over and over and over through data from different sources, by the way, not just chat, not just AI, right? You can go to the ICE website. 8,000 illegal immigrants per day. Okay, Joe Biden and his administration allowed, that's why they were calling it open borders, 8,000 illegal immigrants per day to come into the country. Now, if you multiply that over the course of his 4-year term, that is 12.6 million illegal immigrants that came in just 4 years. And Trump is over here removing 722 illegal immigrants per day. It's not even a drop in a bucket. It's not even a drop in a bucket. You get what I'm saying? Now, go ahead.
Is it safe to say that he's doing a lot of damage control, in essence?
He's trying, but he's not even doing a good job. But us, us Mexican people, we're over here like it's the end of the world. But why aren't we upset with Biden for even putting us in this situation in the first place? Because
we, Mexican Americans, Mexicans, Latinos, we are so emotional on shit. So they're portraying all this shit on social media and feeding us that shit every fucking
Who's portraying it? Who's portraying it?
The media.
Who do they work for?
Okay.
The same people that got us into the situation are the same people that are poking us and antagonizing us about it. That's what they do.
They are the ones that initiated this whole shit.
That's right.
So it's like starting a brush fire. Like, hey, my job is to start it. They will come.
The Mexicans will come.
They will come.
And they will bring gasolina.
Yes, and just fucking...
Daddy Yankee's going to come down here y darle gasolina, right? Like...
And all the third generation Chicanos causing a ruckus, bro.
Breaking shit.
That's crazy, bro.
All right. Shit, we're going to dive in this other subject now.
Yeah.
I love this country, brother.
Yeah.
This country has gave my parents the opportunity, my family, me the opportunity. I do not care how emotional I am about what's happening. I will never burn the American flag, brother. That's just not something that I would do. It's not in my character, right? I see this and these flags being burned, and I'm like, you know what would happen if you would burn a Mexican flag in Mexico?
Only 3 things would happen.
And nobody to tell it better than you, because
I've been there. Only 3 things would happen. Number 1, they'll throw you in jail for quite some time, and you don't want to go to a Mexican jail, bro.
Nah, fool.
You don't want to.
Nah, bro.
You don't want to, bro.
Yeah.
Take the nastiest alley in Huntington Park. I don't know why we keep saying Huntington Park.
So that's where I'm from.
Okay, take the nastiest alley in Huntington Park, and it'll look like the White House compared to a Mexican jail. You know what I mean? So they'll snatch you up and they'll put you in a Mexican jail. And let me just tell you this, all right? Because in 2020, January 9th, my brother, he was murdered in Hermosillo, like back of the head, boom. You know what I mean? Murdered in Hermosillo.
Oh, wow.
And it took the authorities, I think, around 4 years to find this guy. It took him 4 years to find the guy that murdered my brother, right? So I have dealt with the legal system in Mexico. And let me just tell you this, brother. They're probably about 50 years behind. Like, things move so slow in Mexico, from the systemization of the legal system to the representatives of the legal system, right? The prison systems of the legal systems, it is so slow. It's so behind. Okay. So here's what I'm telling you. You go to a Mexican jail for burning a Mexican flag. It is legal, by the way. Did you know that? Did you know it's real?
That what's real?
Did you know that it is illegal to burn a Mexican flag?
That I knew.
Right? So watch this. I actually posted this right here. Yep, no. Burning an American flag on American soil should be considered treason, right? You know what I mean? So here are the legal consequences for burning a Mexican flag in Mexico. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Criminal penalties. Here we go. Watch this. I looked this up. I'm like, this cannot. According to Article 191 of the Mexican Federal Penal Code, anyone who publicly desecrates the national flag, coat of arms, or national anthem can face up to 1 year in prison, a fine, both penalties depending on the judge's decision. What I just tell you about the legal system in Mexico, right? If the offense is repeated or done with malicious intent, like it's happening here, or provocation, the penalties may be increased, right? Now, administrative penalties, this law establishes strict respect and guidelines for using the flag. Violating these provisions, including flag burning and or inappropriate displays, can lead to fines, seizure of materials, suspension of public events, or permits if the violation occurred during such activity. So, you burn the Mexican flag in Mexico, there's going to be some hell to pay. You're either going to jail, or someone is snatching you, or someone is just unaliving you right there. That's what, but we live in a country, right, where we do have real freedom. See, who in here has lived in another country? Hello? I've lived in another country. You know how you're like, I love America. Can you imagine how much I love America? Because I know what it's like to live in a poverty-driven country, in a country like Mexico that has been corrupt over 100 yees, where the PRI, right? The what is it called? The PRI,
Salinas de Gortari started.
Partido Revolucionario, ¿verdad? Yeah. They were in power for over 80 years, and they were just handing it down. Carlos Salinas de Gortari handed it down to Cedillo because they murdered Coloso because Coloso was trying to do the right thing, and they murdered him in Tijuana. And yes, everybody knows that the PRI murdered Coloso. And there was not only the PRI, but a lot of people were involved. Why? Because he was trying to do the right thing for the country. They're like, that's not the way we do things down here. See, everybody blames Trump, right? Oh, Trump. Okay, what about blaming Mexico for the corruption? What about blaming Mexico for the fact that we don't give a shit about our people in Mexico? And that's the reason why we even try to come over here. Like, there's no Americans trying to immigrate to other countries. Everybody in Mexico is like, and not everybody, but again, I always say this: you're either really rich or really poor.
Well, there's no middle class.
No, some people claim that there's a middle class, but no, brother, middle class in Mexico is considered poverty here, so there is no middle class.
And I brought up the Mexican president earlier, right? And exactly what you just said right now. So you see, she said in a statement. She went on there and said, the Mexican people in the United States are hard workers, great people, and went to the U.S. for better opportunities. You're the president, and you're saying that. Mm-hmm. It might not be her fault, but everybody that you named has a lot of blame, starting from Salinas de Gortari and on. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay. That statement kind of bothered me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, so then what are you doing to end corruption? Yeah. So then now, okay, you said what you said. Make it better. Will it happen?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And I had a conversation with my dad about that. My dad like, no, okay, all the other people that we just named, that you named, they were the problem. And that she could possibly start some change. And I'll be optimistic. I was like, well, I hope so. I hope so. Will it happen?
Have you seen this lady out of Sonora? I think her name is Lili Tellez. Have you seen her? No?
Does she talk?
She is, can you look her up? Tellez.
What's your name?
I think it's Lily or Cindy. Let me see. Cindy Tellez. I'm going to look up either one. She has been calling out the corruption. Try Lily Tellez.
This one?
Yep, that's her. She's been calling out the corrupt. I'm like, I am so surprised this woman. Is that Lily Tellez?
Yeah, it is.
I am-
Mexican politician, right?
Yep. I am so surprised that woman is still alive.
Sonora.
Because she just.
She's like, she said, Claudia, you're in bed with the cartels. Like, she goes hard. I'm like, how is she alive?
Well, have you heard about the road to the presidency? Like for her?
For who? The yes?
No, for
Claudia?
Sheinbaum.
No. Shinebaum. Shinebaum.
Sheinbaum.
Shinebaum.
Not Rodriguez, Shamba.
Shinebaum.
So I don't know. That
I think she's part
There
Jewish,
was
by
a
the way.
lot of bloodshed for her to be in the position that she's in.
I heard there was some people
I
getting
cannot
unalived.
deny. I mean, I cannot confirm it,
Yeah.
but it's just hearsay. But it's like, I don't know.
But
It's
you can't be
just-
surprised, bro.
It wouldn't surprise
can't be
me, but
surprised.
it's like, damn, man, you gotta make something. Some things have to change there, bro. You just said something very important, brother. There ain't no Americans fucking leaving America.
No.
Ain't
Into
nobody leaving the
Mexico?
U.S. to be like, I'm gonna go to Mexico for a better life for my kids.
Bro,
not happening.
like 100 years of corruption. Can you imagine, bro, like how deep it runs when the country has been, I've seen it. Like, I've been to Mexico City. I've been on the 72nd floor of one of the most prestigious building. I was doing business there. I've seen the real estate developer that I was doing business with meet with different judges and different politicians, bro. It's like that. Like, it's all like that in Mexico. It's like who knows who, right? And who's paying who. That's just the way it is.
Bro.
I've seen it with my own eyes. And that's what I'm telling you. Brother, I don't think that I cannot, like, in order for that to ever change 100 years of corruption, I mean, there has to be that country, Mexico, would have to go into like a revolution for like 10 to 20 years for it to dismantle.
For it to change.
Yeah. Or else, and I don't think that's going to happen because guess what, right? They keep us so oppressed. They keep us oppressed and they keep us ignorant and they keep us dependent. And they give us little, what was it, López Obrador? Yeah, I'll give you a little bit. Te voy a dar un retiramento aquí, a couple $100 a month. And we're like, oh, thank you. And then we just go back to our house that's made out of lamina. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we'll take whatever you give us, bro. And that's why I just don't. It's tough, man. But I don't think in our lifetime, I don't think Mexico is going to heal and improve and develop itself.
And that's what I'm against when like they go on there saying certain things. I'm like, why don't you focus on fixing?
Well,
fixing Mexico.
Well, watch this.
You know what I'm saying?
Watch this hypocritical issue, right? Look at the lack of logic. Ready? So we Mexicans leave the country because it's corrupt and it's destructive and we don't have opportunity, right? And we come to this country because we want what this country has. But then we come to this country and then we try to make it like the country we left.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second, right?
Yeah.
We do.
I agree.
We do, right? It just doesn't make it doesn't make logical sense, but maybe by nature, right? We're just programmed that way.
I think it's cultural and we are programmed.
Yeah.
That way. So it's like, we're going to go over there, but we're going to make it we'll still have take our morals, our values and everything. And it's like a little subculture in the United States.
And bro, here's what Mexicans, need to understand, because everybody's like, the Democrats are for the people. No, they're not. They want to keep you oppressed.
But they showed you they're not.
Well, I don't know, bro. The psychological warfare and the propaganda machine that they run, bro. It's tough to see through it. Like you see through it. They're good, bro. They're the best in the world.
Okay,
bro. Yeah.
They probably have the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of the best.
Oh yeah. The top
That
of the
should
top.
be like convincing you sometimes.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know, like,
And then you got to
back
catch
up
yourself.
And be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's
Like, I'm
psychological warfare, right?
Look at what's happening in the last week.
Yeah.
It's all psychological warfare.
Yeah.
That shit got people like me, like, oh, fuck. And then I got trapped in the matrix for a little bit.
You're not going to go burn the car, bro.
You know, like, I'm not.
You know what I mean?
But I'm seeing everything, and I'm just like, I would never do that. But I'm just like, ta cabrón. You know?
You can't even have that conversation with somebody that sees it like that.
Because it's too emotional. We're too emotional. Listen.
It's too emotional, and it's too extreme. People do not respect each other. Okay, they want democracy as long as it aligns with their views. Now, if it doesn't align with your views, F you.
Well, watch
That's
this.
their fucking...
Because it's all emotion.
Exactly. It's emotion driven.
It's all emotion driven. Black people and brown people, we are emotionally driven, and that's what the Democratic Party does. They poke at the emotions. They know how. They are masters. They are masters at triggering our emotions, right? I'll give you an example, right? Did you know that last year, not like 10 years ago, last year, 2024, President Biden deported 271,000 illegal immigrants in 1 year. Okay? All right. Ready? In 2012, Obama, the government and people used to call him the deporter in chief. He deported 409,000 illegal immigrants in 2012, but nobody bats an eye. Nobody burns a Waymo. See what I'm saying? Nobody's burning a Waymo over that, bro. Nobody's picking up a brick over 409,000 people in 1 year, over 271,000 people in 1 year. Trump has never deported that many people in 1 year. And it's not even about Trump, because Trump is here now, but he's going to be gone in 3.5 years. You get what I'm saying? It's like, this is bigger than Trump. And what I'm saying is, as Mexican people, right, we have to start thinking logically, because when emotions are high, logic is low. You see what I'm saying? And when logic is high, then emotions are lower and more control. And here's what I'm saying. Like, if we as a culture, as a raza, right? If we do not master our emotions, then we're slaves to our emotions, and our emotions are mastering us.
I agree.
And we're never going to break through. We're never going to break through in this country. And that's, by the way, that's how you win. This is how we win right here. Look at this. We're Mexicans. We're Mexican Americans. We own assets. You own rentals. You're in real estate, right? You got a podcast. You have a platform. This is how we win. We build businesses, right? We make millions of dollars. We own assets. We create wealth. We create legacy, and we show others how to do it over and over and over. Can you imagine if we do that as people for the next 50 years? Where will we be? Now, here's the other thing. Everybody's like, Trump's a racist. He's the only president. He's the first president to appoint a Latino Secretary of State in Marco Rubio.
Facts.
But he's a racist. But we can now say, as Latinos, we can make it to be the Secretary of State. We couldn't say that before. Now we can.
That's a fact.
Next thing you know, there might be a Latino as the vice president. Next thing you know, maybe 10, 20, 50 years from now, there might be a Latino as the president of the United States of America.
You heard that? Makes it possible.
Brother, we have the work ethic. We have the drive. We have the work ethic. We have the determination. We don't give up. We're relentless. We persevere, right? We're resilient. We can make it there, but we got to start using this, and we got to start building. We got to start building businesses, and we got to start building wealth and owning assets and educating ourselves, right? I always say this. You want to know what is the biggest enemy of us Mexican Americans? It's not the white man. It's not the orange man. It's ignorance. Ignorance is our biggest enemy.
And it's very common right now.
Well, look what we're doing. That's ignorance. That's not stupidity. That's ignorance. Those people don't know any better. That's the difference between stupidity and ignorance, right? Ignorance, you don't know any better. You don't know what you don't know, right? Stupidity is you know better and you still do it. I think there's a lot of ignorance being displayed in Los Angeles, California right now. I don't think those people know any better, bro. You know?
But I think it's up to us to have these type of conversations.
And let's hope that they listen. Let's hope that they fire up the podcast.
Thing. Okay, that's
they
another thing.
They got to fire up the True Hustle podcast, bro.
It's like one thing is to provide this type of value, and another thing is for them to consume it and apply it.
And
like
did you hear that? What I always say, information does not lead to transformation.
No.
Implementation leads to transformation. Like you just said, you have to apply it.
Yeah. It's like, they always say knowledge is power.
Nope.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. Now, apply that, apply those concepts, and do something with it. That is true power. Now you're building. You know what I'm saying? And people think that just by reading the book, they're going to...
You know what I'm here to do this weekend, by the way?
What is it, brother? Tell us.
So... it's been in my heart for a very long time. Will was around when the beginning, when the beginning of this project or this community started, right? Empresarios, right? So, my wife and my mom, I've been helping people, teaching them how to build multiple 7-figure businesses since 2018. I've been helping people build 7-figure businesses for a very long time. And I was helping a lot of white people, black people, some Chicanos, etc. Right? And my mom and my wife were always like, when are you going to help your own people? When are you going to help your own people? Right? And that happened. They were telling me that for, I would say, 2 to 3 years. And I was always like, shit, they're right. Like, when am I going to help my own people? Right? So I started Empresarios, I think it was last year, and we had our first event, our first training in February of this year, right? Where I'm teaching Mexican American business owners how to fish. I'm teaching them how to structure their business. I'm teaching them how to scale their business, right? I'm teaching them how to potentially exit their business. I'm teaching them how to hire. I'm teaching them how to track KPIs and ROIs. I'm teaching them about leadership, core values, culture, everything that the big American businesses have. I'm teaching the Mexicans how to do that. And I was saying this to some dude earlier, because he's like, what are you doing to help our people? I'm like, hey, bro, relax. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, right? I said, anytime that someone's like, hey, can you come speak, right? There's a fee. There's a speaker fee that I charge, okay? And it's a pretty decent speaker fee. Well, guess what? When it comes to my Latinos, when it comes to Mexicans, I'm here. I'm not charging anything, bro. And I am going to a gentleman you met earlier today, Christian. Christian is a Mexican American that owns 9 contractor licensing schools in California.
What? Shout out to him.
Right?
9?
9 of them.
Salute.
9 of them. And he lives in Guadalajara.
Whoa, he don't even live here?
He don't even live here.
Stop it.
His business, brother, his business is schools. It does over $1 million a month in gross revenue.
And he lives in Guadalajara.
He lives in Guadalajara, bro. That cat you just saw come in and get out. Yeah, the guy's like, watch this, right? He reached out to me. He's like, bro, I have 9 contractor licensing schools, right? And, I'm looking for someone to come teach my community about business because I provide a license, but then I want them to succeed. They don't know how to, they don't know how to market. They don't know how to make sales. They don't know how to hire. They don't know how to pay a compensation structure. They don't know none of that, right? Can you come teach my people? And I'm like, yeah, let's meet up. Let's talk for a little bit. Then he comes down. Remember I told you he dated me for a little bit. He came in, saw what we were doing. And then, he came in for the second time, came to the training, and he was like, bro, no one's teaching this to the Mexicans. No one's teaching, like, you definitely got to come. Again, no charge, no speaker fee, flies me out, he puts me up in a hotel. I'm speaking there tomorrow. We probably have about 150 Mexican American business owners that are going to roll through, you know what I mean? And it's going to be a powerful thing. So
that's what's up.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's what it's about.
That's how that is what we do. That is how we do it. We legalize, legalization, education, right? That's how we win. Ownership, that's how we win. But when are we going to overcome our limited belief systems, right, that are pushed on us at a very early age, right, to understand that we're not victims here and that we have the same opportunity that the white man has. We have the same opportunity that the white man has, bro. Think about that for a second. Actually, we have a better opportunity than the white man has. You want to know why?
Because we speak 2 languages and we have 2 heritages.
And we have work ethic. And I'm not saying white people don't have work ethic, but we are the hardest working people in the world. Maybe the Asians, maybe they work as hard as us, but bro, we know how to work. And guess what? We pretty much, we're consistently building America's infrastructure. Who's building the houses? Who's building the buildings? Who's working the restaurants? Who's doing the landscaping? Who's doing the roofing? We. To the point where yesterday, Trump came out and said, I'm going to sign an executive order, right, to get migrant labor legalized. Because he knows that Mexican Americans play a pivotal role in America.
All facts.
For sure.
Who outworks us, brother?
What'd you say?
I said, who will outwork us?
Nobody, bro.
Like,
Nobody.
it's just pretty.
As you know, I'm in the house flipping business. You're in the house holding business, right? Bro, I've seen Mexicans build a house in like 4 days from the ground up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and guess what? They got the musiquita going. You know how? Watch this, bro. Look at this. Made me emotional the other day. I'm going into my neighborhood, bro. I live in a gated community with only 10 custom built homes, right? This is a guy that grew up in a house that was probably about 350 square feet, dirt floors, dirt roads, no running water, no electricity, no running electricity, laminate roofing, plywood and wood holding the plywood, and then the lavadero in the backyard. That's how we used to wash. And guess where we used to go poop? Can I say the S word here?
Yeah.
Guess where we had to shit?
In the hole that you dug up.
In the back. My grandfather built it. My grandfather built that house. My grandfather built that hole, right? So, and now it's like a complete, opposite of that. Now it's like I'm walking into a gated community, right? And the HOA that we have, we hire landscapers, and they're all Mexican, from the head honcho all the way down, right, to the blower. You know what I mean? They're all Mexican. I look over, I look right as I'm going in. They're under a tree. They're under a tree and they're eating their lunch, bro. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who we are. That's who we are. We're not the guys that get on top of the Waymos and destroy. We're not the culture. We're not the people, bro, that throw bricks at police officers. We're not those people. We're hardworking people. We love our families. We work hard for our families, right? We're culturally driven people. like no other culture. We have the best culture. We have the best food. We have the best women. I'm just trying.
Bro,
Right?
this guy's spitting fire right now. That's
Praise God.
That microphone's about to fucking
Praise God, brother. Praise God, man.
man, praise the Lord. Man.
We had to drop it at the True Hustle podcast, bro.
That's right, baby.
You know what I mean?
How does somebody overcome those limiting beliefs? Because
Yeah.
being raised
Yep.
in a Latino household, that's how it is, and that's the reality.
Yeah.
So how does
it starts,
obviously you were able to do it.
praise God.
I was able to do it. Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Praise God. Absolutely.
But somebody that
Yeah.
is still in that mindset.
So a lot of that programming, Aristotle said, give me a child until he is 7 and I will show you the man. So a lot of our programming happens between the ages of 0 to 7. And here's the reality of it that a lot of people don't know. You know, they're not taught, they're caught. So you watch your papa, you watch your mama, you watch your uncles, you watch your tias. If you saw your uncle, drinking beer and cheating on his wife,
That's normal.
we were like, oh,
That's
okay.
normal.
Yeah.
Then you start normalizing it.
Yeah. Well, you watch your dad go out to the construction site. You watch him, do the landscaping thing. You watch your mom or your dad beat your mom. Like, it's like, oh, okay, it's just part of my world. It's a regular thing in our world, right? So it starts with deprogramming. You have to first become aware and conscious that a lot of the things that you have become and learned along the way are not even yours. They're not even yours. Wait, hold on, right? Wait, why do I smoke cigarettes? Oh, my mom used to smoke cigarettes. Why do I like Bud Light? Oh, my tios and my dad used to drink Bud Light. And Bud Light is Mexican piss, by the way. Don't drink Bud Light, bro. My mom used to drink Bud Light. It was nasty.
But it's like the ultimate Mexican beer.
But it's water.
Water, bro. It's
Right,
fucking-
drink some
haz de
Modelo's,
cuenta.
put a lime, you know what I'm saying? Modelo's, you know what I'm saying? Right? Let's step up a little bit. They have some class, let's evolve, right? So
funny.
it starts with just understanding that a lot of the things that we do are subconscious because we caught it and we learned it from someone else, right? And then once you're aware of that, you're like, okay, so how do I recreate myself? Now that I'm in control, I'm not a 7-year-old child anymore. How do I recreate myself and how do I reprogram myself? What do I want to put in the hard drive? Then you pick up a book like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. You pick up that book. And that shows you on programming and spiritual development and wealth development and business development. That's my favorite book of all time. It changed my life. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Right? Here's another thing. Self-education. Mexicans, first of all, we don't even believe in education, regular education, right?
Yeah.
We damn well don't believe in self-education, like
Self-development.
like self-development, investing into ourselves, listening to the True Hustle podcast, learning from other people's experience, learning from other people's failures, learning from other people's successes. Bro, you know how much, let's be honest here, bro. If there was a Mexican little boy, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and you took your best episodes of the True Hustle podcast and you just had him just sit there and just watch and listen. All the best episodes, financial literacy, personal development, mindset, right? And he was a blank canvas, and he listened to the True Hustle podcast. How do you think his programming would go if you took your best episodes?
He would be a shining star.
He'd be a rock star.
He
Huh?
would be a rock star.
He wouldn't be burning
Now you're
Wamos,
no, absolutely not.
right?
Yeah. He would be doing the opposite of that.
Yeah. He'd be owning the Wamos.
Yeah.
Right? He'd be launching the next business. See, that's what I want, bro. That's going to be my legacy, brother. My legacy is I want to reach as many people as possible. I want to impact as many people as possible. I want to help people make a lot of money in business and gain a lot of assets. That's how we have a voice, right? So it's like there's an old saying that says become the change that you're looking for. Right? We need more lawyers. We need more teachers. We need more business owners. We need more real estate developers. We need more real estate investors. We need more, we need more governors, right? No disrespect to Governor Newscomb.
That's the only guy I really dislike, brother.
Governor Newscomb?
He's a
well, what about the old black lady that you guys have here?
Who, Bass?
Yeah.
But she's the mayor. She's another.
How old is she?
I don't
Bro,
even know.
how do these people stay in power past 80? Pelosi?
That should be a crime.
Pelosi, bro?
Listen, brother, this lady has been in Congress for what?
Pelosi?
Yeah, Pelosi. Check.
71 years old. I saw Bass.
That's 71.
71.
Pelosi has been in politics for like 30 something years.
And she is like the
5 years old, Pelosi.
Pelosi's 85.
Check her net worth.
It's over 100 million.
It's 240.
How does a politician, right?
Bro,
How does a politician become or acquire a net worth of 200 and something million dollars?
270.
A politician, bro, $270 million, bro? Does she own the White House?
people
Does she have
don't-
equity in the government?
Well, she has equity in stocks because
She's
anyways.
the world's best stock trader, I hear.
yeah, she's good at
She's ahead of the game.
She's
She
good
knows
at
the algorithm.
predicting.
She knows the algorithm.
She knows the stock market fucking algorithm, bro.
Absolutely.
How does someone with $175,000 salary yearly is worth $270 million, bro?
She better not be taking that salary because she's disgusting, bro.
Explain that to me.
Like, what the
Explain
you see
how
how-
somebody in Congress or somebody in politics has a net worth of that much with that type of salary.
And you know what, bro? I'm not here to defend Trump. I'm not. First of all, name the last perfect president. You can't.
You can't.
You can't. You might agree with some things, and you'll definitely disagree with some things, right? Okay. Everybody thinks that, you got to vote on one subject. Oh, I'm just going to vote on immigration. No, bro. What about like the girls in the bathroom? I mean, the men that they identify themselves as women and they go into the Target restrooms, or the men that identify themselves as women and they start playing sports with the women. What about that subject? Right? What about foreign policy? What about abortion? What about gun control? What about all these other subjects?
And I think all the other subjects, I think the Democrats just lost people. They went too left.
Radical. Too radical. Too radical. They brought J-Lo.
Brother.
They brought J-Lo out.
Some of
remember?
these fucking...
They brought Beyonce out. They brought
They were
Cardi
too-
B
they were-
out. You see, they know how to get to us.
They roasted her so bad. That was probably the best roast. They did the yes. I just don't understand some of these things. And I'm just like, come on, people. We got to wake up here, man. This shit went too far left. They went so left that they lost the majority.
They lost their sense of reality, bro.
Yes.
They were so disconnected. They were so disconnected from the American people. They were so, and you know what's crazy, by the way, bro? Mexicans, by nature, are conservative
Yes,
people.
I said that before.
We're naturally we're conservative people.
Absolutely.
We work hard.
It aligns with our core values.
Yes. The only one thing that's not aligning with their core values is the immigration subject.
yes.
Which, what's going to happen if Trump actually signs that executive order and pushes immigration reform? What's going to happen with the Mexicans?
It's a good question.
Will we like him now?
Is it going to be, that guy's okay now? Are we going to have that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I don't think he could do all that, and I still think they'll find something to hate him. I just think that it's just like it became just the Democrats and the left just became obsessed with just
Trump. They have, what is it called? The Trump derangement syndrome?
And
I
think
heard that's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing, bro. You should see
and
that.
it's like sometimes it's not even about us. It's just I'm trying to fuck him over.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, oh man, you You gotta.
There's nothing that dude can do
Nothing.
that will make you happy if you have Trump derangement syndrome. You want to know how I can prove that to you?
How?
Do you remember when the economical war started with China earlier this year?
Yeah.
And he gave a press conference and he told the American people, he said, hey, hang in there for 6 months. We're going to win this war. Hang in there for 6 months. Brother, he brought China. What is it? China. He brought China to its knees. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was going to say billions and billions.
It's hilarious, right?
Yeah.
He brought China to its knees in like 2.5 months.
You know why?
Did you know
right?
that?
Yeah.
Well, because
They
we're
didn't have
the biggest consumer.
Brother.
We're their economy.
China did not have the cards.
No.
They didn't have no leverage.
The customer is always
Right.
Right.
Bro, we're the number. Thank
bro,
you. See, now
these are
people were
facts.
like, oh my God, this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do you understand that they do not, they have zero leverage here.
Zero. They thought they had leverage for some reason.
They could play this fucking, it's like me it's like a 2-year-old trying to strong arm you as a grown-ass man.
Is a grown behemoth.
Yes.
Mexican Shrek.
You know what I mean? Brother, all ponchado.
Mamado.
Bro, todo el mamado. It is not going to happen, brother.
Yeah. No.
It was just a matter of time. Ooh, pero let the fucking media tell it, brother.
Oh, no.
You and I and everybody else.
The guy crushed China, and we're still upset about it. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? What about the deal he made with Bukele? Bro, him and Bukele made a crazy deal to send all the Salvadorans down to the big, what do they call this? The big prison he got down there. It's crazy, right? That was a great deal for Bukele, bro. That was a great deal for him. It's good. It's a good deal for his
but
country.
they're gonna find something.
That's what I'm saying.
And then they found, oh, well, he deported this individual and blah 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 blah.
Bro, the crazy part is that people will believe that Trump ordered get all the Mexicans and just raid all these people, than to believe the head of ICE and say, hey, we're executing a raid that we've been investigating, money laundering, and blah blah blah. No, they don't care about what the head chief said.
Tom Homan.
Yeah, they'd rather
Tom Homan.
They'd rather believe that Trump is out to get us. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Tom Homan wants to arrest Newsom. No, that's good.
Bro.
Yeah, that's
When
If that's not derangement syndrome, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking coming out of his mouth.
that's nuts.
every time I fucking think,
They're
time
like-
we bring up Newsom, I'm just like,
he's disgusting.
he's
bro.
just the hypocrisy with that man, bro.
Yo, you
That's
guys don't
one
really
nasty.
understand. Like, I'm looking. I don't live in this state, and I'm like, California used to be one of the most flourishing states, like a state where you want to live in. There's been an exodus in California, bro. The past like 10 years.
And they're all going to
They're
Texas,
going to Arizona and Texas and Florida. They're going to the Republican states.
But you can't blame them. You seen how fucked up San Francisco is?
No.
Bro, people stopped locking their doors so they wouldn't get the windows broken. So it's like, fuck it, just break in my shit.
What?
Yeah. There's
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Well, I heard that when the Chinese president came into San Francisco, Newsom cleaned it up in like 2 hours, bro.
1.5 hours.
1.5 hours. I heard he
For the
sweat.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Though.
Yeah.
He's gonna make it happen. Mm-hmm. I wonder why.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
What does he want?
You know what I mean? So it's like the changes here. They just don't want to make the changes. I feel like
I don't think you guys are gonna flourish, bro, under Newsom.
No, at all.
Right. By the way, I wanted to bring up something else real quick before we. Right. Here's the other thing that I'm gonna say. The Democrats have been in power 12 out of the last 16 years. Okay. And from 2009 to 2011, Obama was in the White House, and they owned, right? They had the Senate and they had the House of Representatives. They had complete control. and no immigration reform. Ready? Again, from 2021 to 2023, the Democrats had complete control of the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. Guess what? No immigration reform. But we're mad at the orange man who might give us immigration reform. You see how illogical we are, bro? It doesn't make any damn sense, bro. Right?
Half of the shit that goes on doesn't make any sense.
That's it.
It's like they controlled the House, they controlled a lot of things, but nothing was done.
Yep.
But why do you think that is? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Now let's get back to the episode. They're supposed to be the party of the minorities.
They're not.
But they're not.
They're not. They're not. They're
You know
not.
what I mean? Like,
my favorite presidents, actually some of my heroes, bro. Watch, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. One, Social Security and World War, and I mean, he's one of my. You should really watch his documentary, bro. Mind blowing. Okay?
I'll check it out.
All right. JFK, John F. Kennedy, assassinated, more than likely by his own party. JFK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, JFK. He was one of my favorite presidents. He was around. You know what's crazy, bro? I believe that the Democratic Party stopped being the Democratic Party in the 1960s. That's when it shifted to what it is
Why do you
today.
think that happened?
I think that's when a lot of these like evil elitists started gaining control of that party. If you think about it, JFK, unalived. Martin Luther King, unalived. Malcolm X, unalived. Robert F. Kennedy, unalived. See what I'm saying? There was a big shift that took place there in the 1960s, and it hasn't been the same. It hasn't been the same, bro. I think they like you said, they just lost touch with who they once were. They're not that party anymore. And we, as Mexican Americans, need to start waking up. We should not vote blue just because, they're not the people's party anymore. They're not. They don't give a shit about nobody. They don't. So we got to start waking up. Black people are waking up. By the way, this was surprising. The male Hispanic vote helped Trump get into the White House. For the first time, Donald Trump received the most male Latino votes in the history of any Republican president. We, as Mexican Americans, helped him get into the White House.
That's a very high number.
It is. I'll pull the percentage later and I'll text it to you.
And how about the propaganda machine making all these videos talking about they regret?
No.
Like, who does?
No, bro. Again, here's what I just want to encourage Mexican Americans to just use Google or use ChatGPT. Do your own research. Go to an app. It's called Breaking News, right? So look at this, Breaking News. This is so cool because if you go to Breaking News, it's called Ground News. Ground News, right? You go to Ground News and look, you pull up any article and it will tell you, like, look, Iran launches retaliatory missiles into Israel, right? And it will tell you, look at this, left, center, or right. It tells you where, like, how that article is leaning.
No fucking way.
That's right. Mexican Americans, let's get educated. Go to Ground News. You'll know which side that the machine is leaning.
Now that we brought up Israel, do you think all this that's happening is a distraction from shit that's really behind the scenes? There's a lot of shit that is happening like that, for example.
Well, what happened in 2020? COVID. Some people call it COVID. You can't call it, because we're on the air.
Yeah.
COVID, right? What else do they call it? The jab, right? There's a lot of names for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
The juice, right? in 2020, the Jews came, and
then what followed it?
what was out on the streets? Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, burning, right? All kinds of, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you gotta, if you've been in this country long enough, you should now understand what happens.
Do you think they want a part 2, but the Latino version of it?
Yeah, this is the Brown Lives Matter version of it right here, right? This is the Brown Lives Matter. But that's what they're trying.
They're trying somebody to get out of line.
See what that?
And it starts a fucking.
Yeah, that will. Yeah.
I don't know. That's me just thinking out loud.
2020.
Biden. Oh, Trump. Yeah, but then Biden got in. You know.
But Biden
right?
got in.
Yeah, but watch this, right? See, Trump. This is crazy, bro. Trump. He's like, I'm not gonna risk these riots or the same thing that went down in 2020 to prolong, right? To last as long as it should. So what did he do? He mobilized the National Guard. He mobilized the Marines, right? Because, bro, did you know, what was that lady's name? The black lady that's 71 years old that should be retired?
Karen Bass.
Karen Bass and Governor Newsom. They're like, oh, no, they're just peacefully protesting. And then, right, it went from, watch this, you'll like this. Then it's like, it went from they're peacefully protesting, they're mostly peacefully protesting, right?
Just a
right?
smidgen.
Yeah. Did you see that? Right? Mostly. You got people from the damn freeway, like, throwing down bricks into the highway patrol cars, and that's peacefully protesting.
How do you feel about, the propaganda machine is going hard right now. And now you see Mexican Americans, Latinos, going up to the ICE agents, police officers, like, what? Your last name is Rodriguez?
You're a sellout.
You're a fucking sellout, and you should be ashamed of yourself. What are your thoughts on that?
So you don't want our people to be police officers? You don't want our people to be immigration officers? You don't want our people? What do you want us to do? Continue, like, just be landscapers and construction guys? Taqueros? What? No. Why not? Brother, I wanted to be a police officer. I think that's a very respectable, right? Career. You should actually, you should honor the man. First of all, you should honor any law enforcement and any military service.
Absolutely.
You should honor, because your ass ain't protecting nobody. They're the ones that have to go in and protect. Who are you going to call? Someone, someone's trying to stab you. Someone's trying to kill you. Someone's trying to rob you. Who are you calling? You're not calling your tío or your tía. You're calling the guy that you just called a sellout. Officer Jimenez is coming in to protect you. By the way, bro, you're doing this on purpose, huh? Yeah, I see what he's doing, bro. Yeah, no. I see what he's doing.
I want that perspective.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
But it's like they hearing me say it. But
well, imagine you, bro. You're a landlord. Imagine, like, you have to evict a Mexican family because they don't want to pay the rent. Oh, you're a sellout. You're gonna kick our people to the street.
There's fucking rules, just like there is rules for you. There's rules for me.
Yeah, we're just trying to make a living.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking are making a living off the backs of blah blah blah. I'm like,
that's ignorance, brother.
Like,
that's just ignorance.
Damn.
That's ignorance. You know what you should tell them? Well, you know what? You should become a real estate investor too. You should hold assets in this country because they're not, land is the one thing they're not making any more of.
No.
And real estate is one of the most powerful assets that you can have in America.
Well, last time I checked, renting is optional.
And so is rioting.
And so is rioting. And so is ownership. And so is...
Yo, let me ask you something, though. What's up with the looting, bro? Like, how did you guys, and I'm saying you guys because I'm Californians.
California, yes.
Right?
So we're included in that.
We went from rioting, or we went from protesting to rioting to now looting.
So there's a bunch of young...
And why are we looting the Louis Vuitton store? And the Nike store?
Or the fucking Jordan store.
Why?
Any fucking excuse to go out there, cause ruckus, and fucking take advantage.
And here's the reality.
I still think that insurances will be out of California pretty soon.
Insurances? Oh, yeah. That's what went down with the whole, like, fires and stuff,
That's
right?
another thing that people are not talking about.
Yeah.
So what does the looting cost?
Millions. Well, the rioting and the looting
Billions.
Billions.
And guess who's gonna pay?
Hold on. So we're this. I'm not a Californian, right? But okay, Californians are destroying California, and then Governor Newsom has bankrupted California, so he's gonna ask for federal aid. He's gonna ask for federal aid from who? From Trump. So now Trump has to come bail you out. And that's probably why Trump was like, yo, send the Marines, bro. We can't let them destroy the entire state. You know what I mean? Because then it's going to cost us millions or billions of dollars in reparation. Someone has to gain control here.
And who's going to pay out these businesses for all the damages?
Taxpayers.
Insurance companies.
The insurance companies.
For the business owners that are going to file. So what does that mean? So now
we don't want to be in Cali.
So now you're going to bankrupt all these insurance companies because we had the biggest, most brutal fires January.
Yeah.
They're still dishing out money. Okay? Now we're protesting peacefully.
No.
Businesses are getting fucking broken into. There's looting. There's all this other stuff going on. And guess who's going to have to fucking dish out more money?
You guys. The Californians.
The Californians and these insurance companies.
Hold on. The non-rioting Californians.
Yes. So it's like, and I start thinking, are they really? They just want insurances completely out of here. They want to just
Can you imagine, bro?
They want to bankrupt the shit out of them.
Can you imagine?
Who loses?
The residents here in California.
We do.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about all that shit.
Bro, you might have to move. you might have to sell your portfolio and go buy a portfolio in another state where you can actually have some safety. Yeah.
So
you know what I mean?
But I can't be the only one that thinks about shit like this, right? I try to be logical.
That's right.
About everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't be the only one thinking about this type of shit.
No.
It's like, dude, like, this shit is crazy.
Well, here's the other thing that I said the other day. This was about 3 days ago. I said burning American flags is not going to encourage the White House to accelerate a legalization program. Let's do better. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're here, we're Mexican Americans. We want reform, and we're going to go out and, burn Waymos and burn American flags and throw bricks at police officers so we can push a legalization program for our people. No, bro, that's not, we're throwing a tantrum. Think about it. We are throwing a tantrum like kids. That's not respectable and it's not honorable. And we're not going to get what we want. And here's the other question that I have for you. This is something else I wrote too. I said, why are these riots, the immigration riots, the Black Lives Matter riots, why are they always in blue cities? Why are they always in blue cities? Did you see what happened in Florida? Do you see what?
You ready for my answer?
Let me see.
It's going to be a short one. It's by design, brother. Do you think this is going to happen in Arizona, brother?
No.
You think this is going to happen in Texas?
Nope. Florida? Did you see what the governor just said in Florida? What did he say?
He's talking about if you attack one of our officers, you told me this earlier.
We will use deadly force.
You will fuck around and get smoked. Like, fuck around and find out type shit, you know?
You think anybody's going to attack an officer over there?
Absolutely not, man. And it's like, you compare apples to apples, brother. Arizona politicians, California politicians. What's wrong here, brother?
Here's the problem.
This shit doesn't even fucking make sense.
It's illogical. It's hypocritical. 3 days ago? 4 days ago. Governor Newsom, right? He slammed the National Guard. He slammed Trump for mobilizing the National Guard. Right? He was like slamming them and he had a whole press conference and all. Like, bro, why don't you slam the chaos and the destruction that's happening in your state. Why don't we start there? You know, it's the National Guard's fault. No, the only reason why they got mobilized is because you failed to take control of the situation, because you never take control of any situation because you're a piece of shit.
Finally, somebody else aside from me that,
Like, no, dude, you know, it's just, bro, it's frustrating.
What do you think the ultimate goal is here in California? Based on Newsom. Based on his beliefs and his approach.
He's over there thinking, bro. He's over thinking, like, what is the ultimate goal?
What?
Yeah.
And Mayor Bass, like, what do you think their ultimate goal is? To burn California to the ground? Like, what is the ultimate goal? On some serious stuff right here. Like, I stop and I think. And I'm
Dude,
like,
what do you think?
Fuck.
I mean,
it's
almost bankrupt already.
They're going to deplete. They're going to bankrupt it. They're going to... You mismanage billions of dollars of hard-earned...
How's that? Was it railroad? What was he?
Yeah,
train
motherfucker's
track?
been building a railroad since like 2008.
That's
You know what I'm
crazy,
saying? That's
bro.
crazy. So it's like...
you should have hired the Mexicans.
So,
We'll build a train track quick.
En putiza.
¿Verdad?
Boom.
Una
So I'm like, all
semana.
right, you want to end home ownership. That's guaranteed. That's what they want here.
Yeah.
They want to end home
Oh, I
ownership.
know where this is headed.
They want to end home ownership.
Yeah.
They want to make it damn near impossible for you to operate any type of housing investment.
Taxes are through the roof.
Taxes are insane.
Insane water shortages.
They told you, State Farm told Newsom, fix this,
You
this.
don't have enough water reserves if a fire happens, so we don't feel safe insuring these houses.
They told them. And you have to clean up these areas. You have to do
Like the brushing.
preventative stuff. And they ignored it. So it only
And then it went down.
and then it went down.
And
Mysteriously.
then now he's asking for money.
So I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here.
No.
I'm just looking at the facts that are presented to me, and I see what's going on. And now I'm just like, okay, then what is the goal here?
It's one word.
It's
one word and one word only.
What is it, brother?
Communism. It just feels like California is
If we
headed,
could drop the mic, we would drop it. But
Yeah,
you know,
it just feels like that's the path that is being taken right now, is to communism.
and whoever owns
Control.
yeah,
Just the state.
yeah, but
They want to have.
they're gonna start here.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna spread?
Well, I think that's the goal, but it won't happen.
It won't happen.
won't happen.
Texas won't allow it.
Fuck no.
I know there's a lot of people in Arizona and Florida, and there's Montana, and there's a bunch of people, right? But I believe, California is the closest thing to communism right now in this country.
I agree.
Right? Think about it, right? Think about it. When you got Governor Newsom pissed off, talking stuff to the president of the United States, like, dude, you must think you're the president. He thinks he's the president. He thinks he's the president of what? He thinks he's the president of California. You get what I'm saying?
But he feels because we have the fourth largest economy, he feels like he got something. Yeah, he feels he got.
When are you guys going to get rid of him? When is he going to be? I heard that
I think this is it.
the approval, his approval.
Well, they tried to
rating
recall him twice, but I think his term is up. In
Didn't
9 months.
Pelosi groom him into the position?
Yeah, but look at her. It's all learned behavior. Yes,
That's right.
They're part of the same clique.
Isn't that like his aunt or something?
I think so. They're probably related.
Or maybe she's just a sugar mama.
Maybe
you go
scum.
Maybe Newsom and Pelosi. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. He did hook up with his best friend's. Anyways, like
damn,
that guy is crazy.
Newsom's he's a dirty dog, huh?
Fucking dirty dog. You fucking guy,
bro.
So,
I think a lot of Californians watch your show. They're gonna be cracking up.
We're saying nothing but truth here.
That's it. Go look it up. Go Google it. Go chat GPT.
Like you don't have to.
4% approval rate in California.
There it is. Less than half.
When is his term up? Do you ever see California turning red?
It's just like any drug addict or alcoholic. You got to hit rock bottom to start transformation.
Damn, you didn't give me much hope right now, brother.
Yeah. You're not at rock bottom yet. You have to hit rock bottom as a state to where it's like, we're tired of it. We can't do this anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not there yet. You're headed there, but you're not there yet.
What do you think it's going to take?
More of what has been happening since New Scum has been in power.
Just letting people run amok here.
Just, the freaking homeless situation.
2027? Puta
2 more
madre.
years? Damn, bro.
No, güey, no mames, güey. That's a lot, fool. A lot could happen in 2
Yeah,
years. He could
yeah.
probably...
2026, we'll find out if he's going to be reelected or not.
Okay. So you're saying there's hope in the horizon. He can't get reelected?
Right after the World Cup.
I thought he can't. He can't.
I hope not.
But, yeah, man. But I think people need to start waking up, do their own research.
Yeah.
You're right. Do a lot of self-development. He cannot, right?
he's done?
No, yeah, he's done. He's done. But,
Oh, great. But someone else, they're going to groom somebody else to come in, right?
okay, now you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, damn,
Yeah.
we got to be careful who we vote for. But then again, California has vote harvesting, so. That's another topic right there, brother. That shit is like, all right. It's just a lot. It's just a lot, and I hope that we learn from other states. We learn from Florida. We learn from Arizona. We learn from Texas. But they don't want to learn.
By the way, are the riots still going on right now? Or no?
There
Or is
was
it-
well,
No, there's a curfew now.
No, but there was a protest yesterday in fucking Southgate.
But a protest is a protest. By the way, everybody's
That one
okay with
didn't
the
have no
protest.
crime.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's okay with the
Yeah,
protest.
yeah, no, but there
Yeah.
was no rioting.
Yeah.
At least I don't think. I mean, I think Antifa left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're gone.
Yeah.
So,
They probably went to Arizona.
you know, they're trying to fucking
Yeah.
start fucking
Nah,
fires.
we'll know, bro. We know. Over there, we'll know. We see those dudes, we're gonna it's Antifa. You know what I mean?
You want to fucking antagonize
Bro,
them,
did you see? Oh my God, did you see the lady from Full House?
No.
Bro, you didn't see the lady from Full House?
No, what'd she say?
No. Oh, look, your stuff's up, right? Hold on. She got dragged, bro. The lady from Full House.
Which one?
Is she right there? No. Where is she at? Oh, did you see this? Bro, is this a Mexican? Ready?
This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't get this out of the land that was ours.
Does that sound like a Mexican?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh.
Like, bro, what is that?
That's an Antifa lady. There it is.
Okay, all
Here,
right.
Look at Stephanie. Look, Stephanie Tanner, bro.
Let me see.
She's with.
Oh, that's her?
That's her. Everywhere.
Back the fuck up, Stephanie.
She got dragged, bro.
That's what happens when
She's a radical leftist, and she tried to get a little rowdy with the police officers. They don't care, bro.
No,
they
they
didn't
shouldn't.
watch Full House. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, they just
They ain't fans of the show.
No, they tossed her.
How about the Craigslist
Ad? I'll show it to
ad
you. I'll show it to you.
that is paying how much to go loot and riot?
6,500 to 12,000 a week.
That's a pretty good living.
It's a great living. I actually fact checked that. By the way, I want you to know, I fact check everything. You'll never catch me saying something that I haven't done like my due diligence on.
Okay.
Because, you know, especially with information these days, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I fact checked the damn ad, bro. What's this? Here's the ad. Okay. Can you read the ad for me, bro?
What's that?
There it is right there.
Let's see right here. We are forming a select team of the toughest dudes in the area. This unit will be activated only when the situation demands it, but you get paid every week no matter what. High pressure, high risk, no room for hesitation. We need individuals who who do not break, panic, or fold.
What they paying?
Let's see. The pay compensation is $6,500 to $12,500.
Where do I sign up?
That's a pretty good living. And now you see why people are out there
Protesting, rioting.
but they're protesting con ganas.
Oh yeah, because maybe the rowdier you are, the
You
more
have to
you
get a
make.
bonus.
And if they catch it on, like, hey, if you make the news, it's 12,000.
You throw a brick, throw a fucking
Listen, I've seen
You set a
somebody,
Waymo on fire.
I've seen somebody post on social media like, hey, look, I went to the protest or whatever. And to be honest with you, I don't know who the fuck these people are.
Yeah.
These people aren't from our community.
Nah, and they ain't Mexican.
And they're not Mexican. So
No.
what's happening here? It's a bit weird.
And you know,
And I didn't go to the comments because I've been off.
yeah. But now, I think that we're smart enough people to know, like, este güey qué onda,
Exactly.
right?
Wait, throwing
¿Qué onda
bricks.
con esta morra?
¿Tú qué onda, güey? You know, like,
Yeah.
you're not Mexican. Get the
No,
fuck out of
esta
here.
morra's in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying?
So they came all the way from Ohio
Exactly.
or some shit, you know?
Yeah, I think we're smart enough people at some point got willing to realize that. And I have seen more and more Mexican Americans online say, hey, there are some people that should not be here right now. They're antagonists. They're white. You know, there's males with like their nails painted black. You know what I'm saying?
fucking-
Like, we're being set up.
Fucking handing out those fucking masks that are $69.99.
What were they
on
called?
fucking Amazon.
You just happen to have
And you just happen to roll up to have 300 of them in your fucking truck, and then it just so happened to have 10 pallets of bricks delivered.
That's
by
crazy,
an
bro.
anonymous donor.
Hey, what about Charla?
That's it. That's a radical group.
That's a radical group.
Yeah. So that dude, he wasn't part of that. He was part of the Brown Berets, but the Charla, I think.
No, that's a different one, but I can get some.
You're good. Let me check real quick. I know we'll wrap up right now, but this is a good
This is good
conversation, bro. I think anybody that's been interested, especially any Californian, bro, right? They're gonna be like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And I encourage everybody out there, man, do your own research, okay? There's a lot of fear mongering going on social media. They're going to play with your emotions left and right. Yes, we are compassionate about what's going on. However, do your research.
So
That easy.
they're saying that some of these groups are radical groups. They got Unión del Barrio. They got the Brown Berets. Their stance. Watch
Who
this.
funds them? That's
No,
what
no clear or direct
we
funding
need to
ties.
dig and find out who funds
Yeah.
these. You know why? Somebody is funding them.
Well, here, watch this. Affiliation. They operate independently or align with other far left grassroots and community activist networks. Far left, right? Here's some of the stances of the Brown Berets, right? Anti-police, anti-ICE, anti-capitalist. They definitely don't like you. Pro-indigenous sovereignty. I don't know how to even pronounce that. Affiliation is far left grassroots community activist. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on, but everybody out there, you be vigilant, do your own research, inform yourself, and do the research, guys.
That's
do the
right.
research. JT, anything you want to add?
No, bro, stay safe. May God bless you guys.
Listen, at the end of the day, as I said at the beginning, if you do not feel compassion for what's happening, you need Jesus Christ in your life. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, be informed, make the right decisions, and don't make us look bad out there, man. At the end of the day, the cops and, like law enforcement is here to protect and serve. You know what I'm saying? So respect and don't throw no fucking bricks, man. Like, what's wrong with people, brother? And anything else you want to add, my brother?
You know, again, I love our people. You know, I love,
Absolutely.
bro.
We have the best culture.
Not loving. It's like not loving our people is like not loving our mom. You know, my mom is Mexican. immigrant, doesn't speak English still to this day, you know? Like, how are you going to sit here and tell me that we don't love our people? Yeah, we love our people. We want better for our people, but chaos and destruction is not the way that we're going to get better. That's not the way that we're going to get what we want, right? We have to earn it. I earned it, you know, and we have to earn it. And
Absolutely.
Let's earn it through legalization. Let's earn it through education. Let's earn it through business ownership. Let's earn it through asset ownership, right? Let's be the change that we want in this country. Let's get in there. We have a Latino as the Secretary of State. That's a great start. You know, let's be the lawyers. Let's be the police officers. Let's be the governors. Let's be the mayors. Let's be the business owners. That's the change that we're looking for. That's who we need to be as Mexican Americans. That's it.
Amen to that, my brother. And once again, this happened last minute, and I'm glad it did. I'm glad we had this conversation, and I appreciate you stopping by, my brother.
Sure.
You didn't have to.
Appreciate you both, bro.
But thank you so much, my
Absolutely.
brother.
God bless you, bro.
Bam. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss our weekly episodes. Let's go, baby.